choking from the line. How about poppin'? What's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we're back for another one. Alright, y'all, so today's topic, it's jealousy stopping Terence Crawford from signing the Errol Spence Jr. fight contract. Yeah, you heard me right, man. It's jealousy. I'm starting to feel like Terence Crawford might be a little bit jealous of, maybe a lot of bit jealous of Errol Spence Jr. and the success that he's had in the welterweight division. And not only Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford's fans as well. It's like a lot of jealousy surrounding Team Crawford and the Crawford fan base. Now, why do I feel like it's jealousy? I think because Terence Crawford, I think feels like he's more talented than Errol Spence, which may be true, may not be true. It depends on who you ask. Me personally, I think he's talented. He's a talented boxer. He's a likable guy. But I think Errol Spence is built for 147 pounds. So I can't say that his talent would trump Errol Spence if they actually fought. If they actually fought, I think Errol Spence's body size, the way he uses his size, and his punching power is what's going to carry him through the fight. And I think Terence Crawford is gonna realize that it's not always about how many skill sets that you have. Sometimes it's just how much punishment can you absorb and how much punishment can you dish out. And I think Spence is built for 147 pounds. He can absorb a lot of 147 pound punches, and he can dish out a lot of 147 pound punching power. So to me, it's not really a matter of skill sets when you talk about this fight. Man, it's hot. I'm glad this wind started blowing. But, you know, and this is where the jealousy thing comes up. I think Terence Crawford, he saw that Ugas fight, and I think he realized, because Ugas is a pretty big welterweight. Don't get me wrong, Ugas is not a small welterweight by any stretch of the imagination. He is a very big welterweight. And because Errol Spence was able to have so much success against Ugas, I think that triggered I think Terence Crawford was already jealous because of the money that Errol Spence was making. I know everybody says that Terence Crawford was getting paid more. Bob Arum was guaranteeing him $5 million a fight, but I think he was guaranteeing him that $5 million because Terence Crawford can't sell a fight. And that's another point I want to make about the pay-per-view numbers. I think the jealousy set in when he realized that Spence is actually making more money than him. So people will say that Terence Crawford is worth more, or that he's making more money than Errol Spence. But truth be told, I'm not sure what they guarantee Errol Spence per fight. But just based off his pay-per-view numbers, he's making a lot more money. And the fact that he's getting these big gate numbers, he's making a lot more money than Terence Crawford is per fight. And I think that's what triggered the jealousy initially. I think Terence Crawford has always been jealous of the fact that Errol Spence is making more money than he is. And I think this is what triggered him to turn on Bob Arum. And, you know, I really don't think it was Bob Arum's fault. I think Bob Arum is lucky to have gotten away from Terence Crawford. This is why I don't think you hear him too much complaining about not having Terence Crawford as a welterweight anymore. I think if he felt like it was a huge loss, he would have fought harder to keep Terence Crawford around. Even though Terence Crawford called him, you know, the R word, and I don't want to get dinged by the algorithm, so I'm not even going to say that. But we all know what Terence Crawford called him. And I think Bob Arum wanted out of the Crawford business because Crawford can't sell a fight. And that's my second thing. I think because, you know, he if you was to put him in a Cowboy Stadium, he wouldn't sell it out. When you put him on pay-per-view, he can barely do 100,000 buys. And I think that was the second thing that triggered his jealousy, was the fact that Errol Spence is doing these huge gates, these huge pay-per-view numbers. You know, they're not huge compared to what Pacquiao and Mayweather and Marquez and all these guys, Oscar De La Hoya, Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, what those guys of past generation boxing used to do when, you know, television was king. Well, now that television isn't king anymore, nobody's doing 1 million buys, 500,000 buys. Nobody's getting those type of numbers anymore. But 150,000, 200,000, 250,000, that's pretty good. That's really good for a fight nowadays. And Terence Crawford, I don't think can get anywhere near that. And like I said, I think that that's one of the initial things that triggered his jealousy, is the fact that, you know, even though he has a decent fan base, and though the fans that he does have ride with him, they don't support him. And they don't support him because they don't purchase his fights. They don't come to his fights. And, you know, it's you can see that, you can get a reflection of that when you look at his pay-per-view numbers. You can get a reflection of that when you look at his gate numbers. You can get a reflection of that when you see the fanfare surrounding a Spence fight and the fanfare surrounding a Crawford fight. And I think even the Terence Crawford fans are uber super jealous of the Errol Spence fans. Now, I keep telling y'all over and over again, I'm not a Spence fan, I'm not a Crawford fan. I'm just reporting on this fight. And I'm trying to call it how it is, not how people want it to be. And I can see the jealousy coming from Terence Crawford fans, because they even shoot the jealousy at me, and I keep telling y'all I'm not a fan of either one of these guys. You know, it's funny because when I was talking about Errol Spence and the way he did Pacquiao, and when I said he needed to shut his mouth about what he was saying about Pacquiao before the Ugas fight, I didn't understand why he was even bringing up Pacquiao, because, you know, you backed out of the fight for so-called eye injury. So he you know, none of those fans had anything to say about you know, me coming at Errol Spence. But as soon as I came at Terence Crawford, now they all want to get butthurt and go all in their feelings and get all emotional about something that really has nothing to do with them. You know, the fact that he hasn't signed his contract yet lets me know there's some doubt in Terence Crawford's mind. You know, the fact that he hasn't signed that contract lets me know that there is some doubt in Terence Crawford's mind. Now, is it doubt about winning the fight? I don't know. Is it doubt about the purse of the fight? I think there's doubt about a lot of stuff. I think there's doubt about the venue. I think there's doubt about the purse. I think there's doubt about the fact of him actually being able to win after what he saw get done to Ugas. And I think that doubt is rearing its head as jealousy, and it's becoming more and more obvious. And for all the people who are saying that, you know, well, there might not be an actual contract out there. Show me some proof that there's a contract out there. Well, I don't have to show you any proof that there's a contract out there. Errol Spence said that there's a contract out there. He said that he offered Terence Crawford a certain, there's a contract out there. He's being offered a certain amount for the fight, and Terence Crawford is yet to sign off on that. Now, if Terence Crawford hasn't received that, he has the right to tell Errol Spence that he has to cease and desist or be sued because you're defaming my character and you're lying. And the fact that Terence Crawford has said nothing to that nature yet, he hasn't come out and said anything about this yet. He's not even defending himself at this point. The only people that are defending him are his fans. And his fans are doing it with jealousy because they do see, and there's another thing. You know, they do see the fact that Errol Spence was able to accomplish everything he said he was going to accomplish. Whether I like the fact that he sidelined Pacquiao took an easier road through Ugas or not, you know, that's my personal feelings. I'm not gonna hate him for accomplishing what he said he was gonna accomplish. I'm still a Pacquiao fan. I'll defend Pacquiao to the death of me. But I can't not accept the fact he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And he did it the way he said he was going to do it. Now, did he go through Pacquiao? He actually didn't have to go through Pacquiao in the first place. If he didn't want to take that Pacquiao fight in the first place, he didn't have to. So, you know, I can't get mad. I can't even still be mad about the fact that Pacquiao didn't get an opportunity to fight him. Even though we might see Pacquiao back in the ring again. And, you know, I think it's funny how these fans, they try to take what they call narratives and turn them upside down and sideways and flip them this way and that way so they fit their own argument. I'm not trying to fit a narrative. The narrative is what it is. Errol Spence said, I'm gonna clean up my side of the street. And what people need to understand about that is he didn't mean I'm going to go clean up PBC, which I think that's what people think. I'm cleaning up my side of the streets means I'm cleaning up the promotional company I'm with, or I'm cleaning up this, that, you know, because, you know, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence are in the same weight class, so they're on the same side of the street. What he meant by I'm cleaning up my side of the street is I'm going to get them titles. If you want to wait around and play around and take easy fights, you can do that. 9 title fights, you can do that. But I'm going to clean up my side of the street. I'm going to get these titles, and I'm going to put you in a position to where you have no negotiating power. And that's exactly what Errol Spence has done. And I've been telling y'all this the whole time. The more Terence Crawford plays around, the more he sits around and waits and waits and waits, it's not going to work in his favor. And now it's all turned into jealousy and envy, and the only thing that can solve this for Terence Crawford, sign the contract, get in the ring, beat the man if you know you can, and get it over with, because you're only getting older and older and older and older and older, and it's not going to play out in your favor. There's no way it can play out in your favor now, because Errol Spence has 3 titles. Errol Spence draws the crowds. Errol Spence has the pay-per-view numbers. Errol Spence deserves the lion's share of any budget that's put toward a Crawford-Spence fight. So you're never going to get what you want. Your fans are never going to get what they want. So all they can do is be jealous. So what's stopping Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight from actually happening is jealousy at this point. It's pure jealousy at this point, my man. And if you got an argument for me, please leave it down in the comment section and tell me why you as a Crawford fan are not jealous of what's going on with with Errol Spence Jr. Because that's all I see is jealousy coming from Crawford fans. I think that's it for now. Yeah, I think that's it for now. It's too hot out here. I'm tired of rambling. It's your boy Cardinal Red, Cardinal Bud Crawford, if you want to call me that. Check me out on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and hit that like button for me, please, please, please. Subscribe, tell a friend, share. We are out of here. Bob, I'm logged in. Let's go.